Hello everyone, so the time as I record this is 9 o'clock on Wednesday the 5th of November 2025. So there were elections in the US yesterday, or today. It's complicated because of the time zones, but there were elections recently in the United States. They're not big elections like midterm elections or even presidential elections. These were just tiny but no less important elections in the US. So we're going to begin in New York City with the results for the mayoral race, where there were four candidates: Democrat Zoran Mamdani, Independent Andrew Cuomo, Independent Eric Adams, and Republican Curtis Sliwa. So Eric Adams dropped out about 2 weeks, just a couple of weeks before the actual election, and there's also early voting in New York City, so there were already votes cast for him. But with an outright majority and about 90% of votes counted, Zoran Mamdani is the mayor-elect of New York City, with about 1 million votes cast out of about 2 million. So yeah, 50.4% of votes. He is leading in the boroughs of the Bronx, Manhattan, Brooklyn, and Queens. Andrew Cuomo, however, is only leading in Staten Island. Next, we're going to check out some other races. For example, the California ballot measure. It's called Proposition 50. It is also known as the Election Rigging Response Act. This is a constitutional amendment that would allow the state to use a new legislature-drawn congressional map from 2026 through the 2030 elections instead of the one drawn by the California Citizens Redistricting Commission. A yes vote means the state would use the new maps starting in 2026 until the California Citizens Redistricting Commission draw new maps following the 2030 U.S. Census, while a no vote means that the current maps drawn by the commission would continue to be used until 2030. And with about 70% of votes counted, with 3 million more votes left to count, the yes vote had won with a ratio of nearly 2-1. 4.8 million people voted yes, while about 2.7 million people voted no. So this proposition has passed. This is basically in response to the Texas gerrymandering that happened about a few months ago. So, yeah, this is a pretty massive result for California. Next, we're going to check the New Jersey governor. It's also a pretty massive race. The candidates are Mikey Sherrill for the Democrats, Jack Ciattarelli for the Republicans, and Vic Kaplan for the Independent. Vic Kaplan is an independent. Also running is Joanne Kuniansky, who is also an independent. And with 95% of votes cast, with about 169,000 votes left to count, Mikey Sherrill is the projected winner, with 56% of the votes cast for Mikey Sherrill. That's 1.7 million votes for Sherrill, 1.3 million for Ciattarelli, 11,000 for Vic Kaplan, and 7,600 for Kuniansky. And yeah, there's a lot of blue on this map here displayed. I'm looking at the NBC News 2025 elections website. We're also going to check out the Virginia Attorney General, because this is also a big one. Jay Jones won that, who is also a Democrat. That's 1.79 million votes cast for him. We're also going to check out the Virginia governor's race. I think the Democrat also won this. Yeah, Abigail Spanberger, 57.5% of votes cast for Spanberger against her Republican competitor, Winsome Earl Sears. There's also the lieutenant governor's race. Yep, the Democrat won this, Ghazala Hashmi. So congratulations. That's 1.8 million votes cast. 55.6% of votes cast for her against her competitor, John Reed. Let's see. The Colorado ballot measure. This is to raise taxes for school meals. 58% votes. 58% of votes cast were for the yes vote, meaning Colorado will increase the taxes for school meals, which is very amazing. That is simply just a very nice thing for the people of Colorado to do. There are 2 questions for the main ballot. The map is by county. All right. There are 2 measures that are up for a vote in Maine. Question 1 is for absentee voting and voter ID restrictions. That was voted down overwhelmingly. That 63% of voters voted it down. While for question 2, temporary restrictions on dangerous weapons, that has been passed overwhelmingly as well, with about the same percentage. 63.9% of voters voted down question 1, while 63.2% of voters passed question 2. We'll also look at the Pennsylvania State Supreme Court. This is basically just a retention election where these justices are up for vote statewide to see if they have done well for their positions in the Supreme Court to be retained. We're going to look at the first justice up for a retention election, Justice Kevin Doherty. He has passed. He has retained his seat as a Supreme Court justice with 61.4% of the vote. Next is Justice Christine Donahue, 61.4% as well, and Supreme Court Justice David Wecht. I don't know how to exactly pronounce that, but he did also retain his seat as a state Supreme Court justice with 61.1% of votes cast. We'll take a look at the Texas House special election. It's a split among a lot of candidates. Numerous candidates are competing to fill the deep blue 18th congressional district based in Houston, which was left vacant after Democratic Representative Sylvester Turner's death earlier this year. If no candidate gets majority support, the top 2 will advance to a runoff on a date yet to be determined. So the top 2 collectively has obtained about 54% of the vote. That's Christian Menefee and Amanda Edwards. Both are Democrat. Also take a look at the Texas ballot measure. They have approved 2 ballot measures. Proposition 15 is for a parental rights amendment. It provides that parents have the right to exercise care, custody and control of the parent's child, including the right to make decisions concerning the child's upbringing. That has passed with 70% of the vote, and Proposition 16, which requires it's a requires citizenship to vote amendment. It amends the Texas Constitution to provide that persons who are not citizens of the United States cannot vote. That has also passed with 72% of the vote. I think that is all of the elections. I have tackled them all. Thank you so much for watching this entire video. and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.